Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers continue to spread their love to more Syrian refugees living in Jordan. Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers extend home visitations to other volunteers who need a bit of support. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Earlier on in the week, we brought you reports on Tzu Chi's rice distribution in Jordan's Mafraq province, where volunteers stopped in an orphan and single-parent organization, a Catholic-run medical center, and the tent city of Zatari. This was a cooperation with the Taiwan Council of Agriculture to deliver 100 tons of rice to the needy in Jordan. On November 7th, a second rice distribution was carried out in Al Ramtha, helping a total of 400 families. In addition, volunteers also prepared emergency cash and milk powder to help Syrian refugees in the area.
Okay. Ready? Go!
Here in Al Ramtha, Tzu Chi's rice distribution is carried out with the usual respect and humility. The 2 bags of 10-kilogram rice for each family came as a blessing for many Jordanians. However, the weight of love for some was maybe just a little too heavy to carry. Fortunately, a volunteer came to the boys' rescue just in time. Today's distribution was organized by less than 10 Tzu Chi volunteers. However, with the help of local Jordanians, 800 bags of rice were unloaded off the truck in no time.
These are the parents of my Taekwondo students, as well as the coach. They all came to help.
Not forgetting about the Syrian refugees, Tzu Chi volunteers also distributed emergency cash and milk powder to 50 families. At the distribution, volunteers came across 4-year-old Lana, a deaf-mute girl who volunteers previously helped to apply for a school that caters for children with special needs. Clearly, the volunteers' efforts had paid off.
Concentrations inside to color inside the circle.
Lana's mother happily shares her daughter's progress with the volunteers. It seems Tzu Chi's seeds of compassion and goodness have taken root here in the war-torn Middle East.
Turning our camera to China, 80-year-old grandfather Chen Bei from Xiamen lives in a traditional Chinese residential compound that is dilapidated but on repair. The senior recently received a government subsidy to reconstruct his home. However, unable to move all the furniture by himself, the grandfather thought of none other than Tzu Chi volunteers to help.
This rundown traditional Chinese residential compound is where 80-year-old grandfather Chen Bei and his grandsons live. However, that is soon about to change as the senior recently received subsidies from the government to rebuild his home. As the senior needed help to move out all the furniture, the first people that came to mind were Tzu Chi volunteers. After helping the senior with the move, next it was a matter of waiting for the construction to be complete. The warm interaction shows the tight bond between volunteers and the senior. What was once a home beyond repair has now become the senior and his grandson's cozy abode. As if celebrating their own housewarming, volunteers couldn't contain their excitement as they make their way to Grandfather Chen's home.
I am happy to be of service to others. It's great.
I'm happy, really. I'm glad they came. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to move it myself.
Volunteers first dust off the furniture before moving it back into the house. Such gestures also drew the attention of the senior's neighbors.
You volunteers are great coming here to clean up for him. His grandchildren are still too young to help.
A reassuring presence for the senior, Tzu Chi volunteers are like friends that reach out with a helping hand in times of need.
It's great to see how much the house has transformed from the last time we were here.
Volunteers also prepared glutinous rice balls to celebrate the senior moving into his newly built house.
Following the devastation of Typhoon Kensana in 2009 and Tzu Chi relief efforts following the disaster, countless Filipinos were inspired to give back. And for some, that meant undergoing volunteer training and becoming a certified Tzu Chi volunteer. To date, locally certified Tzu Chi volunteers in the Philippines now number at 1,500. In our next report, we see how these volunteers are working in their communities and becoming better people in the process.
Here in San Mateo, Typhoon Fengwang left communities in ruins. In response, Tzu Chi volunteers prepared 4,500 aid packs for distribution.
In tomorrow's distribution, they can pick up the rice, blankets, and mosquito nets we have prepared for them.
In order to help all those affected, the 20 volunteers break up into groups to make sure they visit each affected village. The village of Sipakmali is one of the volunteers' destinations.
This place is, if disaster comes, this place always underwater.
In 2009, Angelita received aid from Tzu Chi following Typhoon Kensana and went on to become a certified volunteer in 2013. Remembering that time, tears of gratitude still well up.
We have been through many disasters. Tzu Chi is the only organization that is there after everyone. We treasure Tzu Chi's presence here. So whenever there are events like these, I do my best to support them and work to help others.
A sudden downpour does not stop the distribution, with every volunteer committed to the tasks at hand.
Although they are poor, but if you ask for help, they will be the first to offer it.
Also recently certified volunteers, husband and wife Edison and Heidi, currently spend 3 days out of every week recycling. To get to the recycling station, they need to change vehicles 4 times. Once at the station, they then cycle a recycling pedicab to pick up and sort recyclables.
Sobra nakakapagod.
Pagod po, pero masaya.
Of course, we are tired but happy as well. After taking a break, we get our energy back right away.
Yun pong pagtulong sa mga mahihirap.
The most moving thing is, every time we go with the other volunteers to comfort the poor, I realize that even us who have no money can do something that benefits others.
Yun po parang sabi ko, maski po pala wala akong pera.
A lot of them don't have a stable job. Today they have work and tomorrow they don't. The master hopes the Cash for Work program can bring a sense of security to these people's lives by ensuring they have a stable income. Currently, many of our past Cash for program participants have also taken up the practice of recycling.
The Cash for Work program not only helps maintain livelihoods, but in the process allows participants to cultivate compassion and wisdom.
Sa seminar, tamang-tama ang topic natin.
During the training, some of the trainees talk about how they used to drink and play around. It was as if they were telling my story. I went home and reflected on my actions and decided to change and join Tzu Chi.
At a local volunteers continuing training seminar, Heidi and her husband are among the many new volunteers attending.
During the volunteer training, they will absorb the Dharma of Tzu Chi, which helps change their lives and gives them a brighter tomorrow.
As early as 2009, Tzu Chi began volunteer training for local volunteers here in the Philippines. And as of October 2014, the number of certified local volunteers ready to work on behalf of their country and countrymen now stands at 1,500.
In Indonesia, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a series of home visitations. What's different about these visits, however, is that the volunteers are not visiting care recipients, but instead are visiting their Dharma relatives. Among the Dharma family the group visited was one counterpart whose husband is currently undergoing chemotherapy for his lymphatic diseases. Here's more on that story.
Prior to the home visitations, Indonesia Tzu Chi volunteers listened carefully to a volunteer's explanation. However, today they're not visiting care recipients but Dharma relatives.
Kebenaran bulan ini kita jadwalnya kita bikin.
This month, we'll be dedicating most of our time to care for our fellow volunteers. Why? Some of them are currently suffering from difficulties or health problems, so they need our support and love. Many of them are active volunteers at Tzu Chi events.
Nah, di saat seperti ini mereka juga butuh dukungan kita. Mereka juga butuh perhatian dari kita.
Tzu Chi volunteer Margarita's husband suffers from lymphatic disease and is currently undergoing chemotherapy. Margarita says she felt deeply touched seeing her Dharma family come calling.
Karena apa? Kadang-kadang seorang yang dalam keadaan.
It feels great when friends are here to offer their support, especially when you are alone or suffering from illness. Their visit made me realize that I am not alone. I am so happy right now. Words can't describe my feelings.
Masih aku nggak sendiri. Dengan ada kunjungan, dengan ada orang yang tengokin, itu kayaknya sukacita banget. Gimana ya, nggak bisa ngungkap ya satu perasaan yang sangat bersukacita.
Next, the group arrives at Tzu Chi volunteer Kartini's home. Due to health problem, Kartini was forced to temporarily take a break from volunteering. The volunteers hope Kartini can quickly regain her health, so together they can continue to help those in greater need.
Saya sangat senang sekali ya.
I am extremely happy because I know that I am not alone. I have so many friends who care about me. My friends give me the strength to fight my illness.
Supporting each other through ups and downs in the days and weeks ahead, the Tzu Chi volunteers promise to overcome all obstacles together and walk hand in hand on the Tzu Chi path.
25 years ago, on September 17th, the Tzu Chi Nursing Vocational School welcomed the first class of students through its doors. Due to the remote location of the school authorities had difficulties finding educators to teach at the school. Thus, many times, medical staff of different hospitals were asked to teach in their spare time. Under such hardship, it's no wonder that the bonds between students and teachers remained strong in the years following. Next, we meet few of the medical staff from the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital who were there from the start.
I tear up when I hear the school's alma mater. I think the song is spot on.
This is Jinli Jun 25 years ago. As one of the students of the first graduating class of the Tzu Chi Nursing Vocational School, she remembers her school days as if it were yesterday.
There were so many people blessing us when the school first opened. I felt very fortunate to be a part of it.
78年，在2万多人的观礼祝福下，慈济护专创校开学了。
Due to the school's remote location and the lack of educators in the area, in the very beginning, qualified doctors were asked to be teachers in their spare time.
Many of the doctors who were qualified to teach naturally became teachers in their field of expertise.
Clinical practice took up a majority of our time, but in order to teach the students, we needed to set aside time and effort to prepare materials for class.
During our courses, the students gain a lot of experience in their fields of study, as other vocational schools wouldn't have resources like that.
The teachers were actually heavy players in the nursing field, so I feel very lucky to have studied under them.
The heavy players Jen speaks of mostly came from National Taiwan University Hospital to teach in Hualien, as they saw the need to increase medical personnel in the area.
We knew the results of this journey, so we didn't dwell on the difficulties. Upon graduation, these students would work at the hospital, so that was beneficial for the Tzu Chi hospital too.
Now the head nurse of ICU, Jen has been with Tzu Chi ever since completing her graduate work. She remembers how inconvenient transportation and communication were back then, and fondly treasures the connection she had with her teachers.
We didn't want to let those who had high hopes for us down.
They were very close. The two classes student-teacher relationship was like sisters.
Because they endured difficult times together at school, the closeness they felt for the school did not cease upon graduation.
It is under such hardship that lasting friendship are formed, with teachers guiding students in becoming the medical professionals of tomorrow. In our next report, we meet Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's Urology Department Director Guo Han-cong, who we met earlier in the program. Dr. Guo has been in the medical profession for more than 3 decades. During his free time, Dr. Guo organizes free clinics for those suffering from spinal cord injuries. Recently, he was also recognized by the Hualien County Medical Association for his selfless contribution to the field of medicine.
Bedridden following a car accident, Jian Yingjiao now suffers from urethral stones. As he also suffered spinal injuries, it wasn't until he met Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital doctor Guo Han-cong that he was spared dialysis and saw the prospect of recovery.
Thanks to his loving care and help, I got my health and life back.
Helping patients with spinal cord injuries overcome their struggles, during his free time, Dr. Guo takes it upon himself to organize free clinics and raise awareness on important health issues. Furthermore, Guo also periodically visits the Potential Development Center for Spinal Cord Sufferers in Taoyuan, bringing care and encouragement to the patients there.
These patients are just like my teachers because I learned so much from them. For instance, based on their diagnosis, what would be the best form of treatment for the patient?
Having served at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital for 28 years, Guo remains committed to serving people in areas where medical access is lacking, and was awarded by the Hualien County Medical Association for his medical contributions.
We hope to establish a network across all regions of Taiwan that focuses on providing care to patients with spinal injuries and urinary tract problems. This is to help younger doctors provide better care to these patients.
Having devoted much of his time to medical research, Dr. Guo's thesis received global recognition and was featured in an international medical journal. Patients as far away as Australia have come to him seeking treatment.
Problems should be fixed now. Dr. Guo is very positive. I should be getting on with normal life again.
Now 60 years old, Dr. Guo has treated countless patients over the years. In the days to come, he will continue to pass on his knowledge and skills to a younger generation of doctors.
3 years ago, medical staff of Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital in Taiwan began to conduct free clinics and home visitations in Shiding District, New Taipei City. The medical staff's bi-weekly visits have not only relieved sickness, but also brought much-needed warmth to this area. But first, we take a look at how medical staff of the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital celebrated the country's Doctor's Day, which fell on November 12th in Taiwan.
Holding cleaning tools in their hands, today medical staff of the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital are cleaning up hospital grounds as a way to celebrate Doctor's Day. After listening to a volunteer's explanation, the team is ready to begin their work.
We are very thankful to the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital for giving us this opportunity to help those in greater need. Cleaning up the grounds here is a good way to express our respect and thanks to community residents.
In addition to using a lawnmower to cut grass, doctors and nurses rolled up their sleeves to get rid of weeds. Many of the newly joined medical personnel say cleaning up the hospital grounds was a meaningful way to mark the day.
This event gives us the opportunity to learn about the grounds here. I think it is great because we are getting some exercise while doing good deeds.
这边就是我的家，所以
This is my home, so I'm very happy to be able to participate in today's cleanup. When we clean up the grounds, patients will feel more at ease and will be in a better mood too.
把那个竹子那个
I am making sure the bamboo grows straight and also cutting off dead branches on trees.
Thanks to everyone's selfless dedication, those coming to the hospital will have a place to put their minds at ease while they recover from their illness. Besides safeguarding the environment, doctors at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital have also been traveling to Wutu Borough in Shiding twice a month to make sure those living in the area are well taken care of. As Wutu Borough only has a day clinic, Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital's bi-weekly visits are much anticipated by the 800 or so residents.
My feet and back hurt. When I work too much, my body gets really sore.
Since most of the residents living in Shiding are solitary seniors who have difficulty traveling around, Tzu Chi's home visitations are much appreciated. Medical staff always make sure to visit solitary seniors at the end of each free clinic. Today, the team is at a 96-year-old grandpa's home. During their visit, they discover the senior suffers from an injury on his back.
Last time when we came, we realized that the senior had some skin problems, so we gave him some medication. He said that he felt that it's very inconvenient to pick up medication at the clinic or hospital, and that it is great that Tzu Chi is here conducting home visitations.
Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital began holding free clinics in Wutu Borough 3 years ago. Besides safeguarding residents' health, doctors and nurses also make sure to take care of their hearts.
When we are treating patients in a hospital, we only look after their physical health. But then we come here. We'll learn more about their background and situation. It gives us a better understanding of our patients before we conduct any sort of treatment.
As China becomes a powerhouse in the global community, environmental awareness has also been on the government's agenda. In Shanghai, residents of Qingshuiyuan of Pudong are setting an example for other communities to follow for their excellent environmental conservation practices. In the past, recyclables in the area would often be thrown together with the kitchen waste. But now, thanks to Tzu Chi volunteers' messages on the right ways to protect the planet, local residents have learned how to separate the recyclables and the kitchen refuse. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.